that should help us in our journey, hopefully increase our knowledge of Power BI. And like you have seen probably on the flyer, our speaker is a very great teacher. In fact, I still had to rush to him just today to help me solve a particular problem and in Power BI that I was struggling with for this. So he's capable. He works with is a tutor, is also a data analyst, passionate about teaching data analysts, and passionate about solving problems, and uses Power BI and every other tools. Okay. Our speaker's name is Folorunsho Ajala, and he works with blue chip technologies. And in no short time, he will join us and he would answer some of those questions. So during the week, we put out a form for people to send in their question in advance, and we got some questions, and I think we'd want to start from there before we take live questions. Okay, so we want to start from the questions we already have, and then from there try to take live questions. Mr. Folorunsho, sir, boss.
Okay, yeah, good afternoon, everyone. Can you hear me?
Sir.
Yeah, good afternoon.
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay, so let me share my screen. I think I don't know. Sorry, maybe I might a bit change your style a little bit, right? Sorry for that. I think let's maybe like the first 20 minutes we'll talk about some best practice in Power BI. Then we'll look at the questions. Then we'll take the live question. How about that?
All right, that makes sense.
Okay, so let me share my screen. Please confirm if you can see my screen.
It's coming up.
Okay. Okay, yes. So I think Gabriel have already introduced us. I would like to introduce myself better. Okay, so my name is Folorunsho. Yeah, my name is Folorunsho Ajala, and I work at Blue Chip Technology here in Nigeria, and also program coordinator at Databricks Educational Hub, where we do community service, train people on data analytics. Over the years, course of the years, I've been certified in various Microsoft certification like Power Platform, Power BI Data Analyst, Data Engineering regarding Microsoft Fabric, Databricks Data Analyst Associate as well. I've spent over 3 years, doing this, as a data analyst. Yeah, over 3 years. And over the course of the 3 years, I have been able to train, not just community training, not just virtual training, I've trained corporate entities, even where I work, we do training, we train some of our staff as well. So I've done that. So over the years, I've trained over 2,000 participants, whether in the community service, including senior management, on data analytics, business intelligence, big data, not just data. I work with cloud solution as well, like Microsoft Azure and some other platform like Microsoft Fabric as well. So I've built a lot of solution with companies, especially with my company anyway, that's Blue Chip Technology. So mostly in the financial institution and oil and gas. Like I also said, I'm also part of the co-organizer of the Databricks Educational Hub. Okay, so that's a little bit brief about myself. So if you'd like to connect with me, you can connect with me via LinkedIn, or you can also connect with me on Twitter. Yeah. So I'm going to drop my link in case you want to connect with me.
I was about doing that for you. Don't worry.
All right. Okay. So let's start with, like I said, I would like us to first start with Power BI best practice. So once we go through the Power BI best practice, we just do that for like maybe some few minutes, maybe like 20 minutes. Then after then, if you have questions regarding the best practice, we can ask questions, and later on we can now move on to the questions that we have. Some people have asked us. I believe Gabriel will ask the question, then I will answer them. Then we can now go on to the live section to ask questions for people that are joining live. You can ask questions about it. Okay, so let's start with Power BI. What is Power BI? So majorly, what I just want us to focus on. Please, can you all see my screen? Can you see my screen? Can you see my slide?
Yes, I can.
All right. Okay, good. So when we talk about best practice, we talk about Power BI. What is Power BI? Power BI is a visualization tool, as we all know, and it's a very robust tool. It's very flexible. You can use it to connect with different applications, and in Power BI you have key components and processes that you have to follow. So we have the data preparation, data modeling, creating that visualization, right? All these things that we have that we normally do in Power BI, they have best practice. A lot of people might not understand what best practice means. You can be doing your own things the way you are doing it, or the traditional ways you know it, or the way you are being taught. But there are some rules, or there are some guide that people will not tell you. It is when you start working, in big organization, or you start working with big data, that is when you understand all these best practice. And why am I interested, or why am I focusing on this best practice? The reason why I'm focusing on the best practice is because of what we call data, what we call optimization. A lot of people sometimes, when you open their reports, when you open their dashboard, or you open their their report, right? It takes a longer time before this report comes up. It can take up to like 5 minutes, 2 minutes, 3 minutes, and your stakeholders will be wondering what exactly is the problem. Why is a report taking 3 minutes to load? I have worked in an environment where we are trying to open a report and we spend almost 5 minutes before the report can load. What is happening? The stakeholder is asking question, what exactly is happening? Don't worry, it's still loading. You can see the arrow, that small button is loading. Stakeholders might not be so patient with waiting for 5 minutes before they can see their report. So we need to optimize our our model, or your reports, or whatever you are building. I think they call it semantic model now, right? So we need to optimize it. So let's look at some of the best practice that we have. So like I said, Power BI has different components: the Power BI desktop, Power BI service, and Power BI mobile, which I believe everybody is aware of that. So when we talk about, let's talk about data preparation, right? So data preparation is also known as data cleaning, that we normally do in Power Query, right? So when you are working in Power Query generally, there are some rules that we have to follow as well. Make sure that you organize your table very well. When you import a data into Power BI using Power Query, right? The first thing that you always have to do is to organize your data very well. Name your tables appropriately, right? Organize your data very well. Give your table name a befitting structure, so that when you are trying to analyze your data, you will understand it better. So that whenever you are trying to compute some calculation, you are not confused with what you are trying to do. So you have to ensure that you do your work, you organize your data very well. Make sure that you do transformation, right? Yeah, whenever you are doing your data transformation, your transformation should be close to your data source. You understand? Transformation close to what? To your source data. Don't go and do transformation in Power BI. A lot of people will make some, we like doing some, some people might want to say they want to flex their DAX knowledge, right? You might decide that, oh, because I know DAX, instead of you to do the transformation in Power Query, you will not take the transformation, you will not do it there, you will not take it to Power BI to go and do it, which is not a best practice. Nobody is going to, I'm not sure that stakeholders are interested in where you do your transformation. The most important thing is that you give them the accurate data. A lot of people focus more on the let me say the how they look. But when it comes to, yeah, the look actually is important. For me, I take they look very, very serious whenever. But what I'm trying to say is that the data, accuracy is very, very important as well. So your transformation should be done at the early stage, which is in your data, in your Power Query. Also, if you have a static data that is not updating every day, you can disable your refresh, right? I hope you guys know how to disable refresh in Power BI. Does anybody know how to disable refresh in Power BI? Let me ask. Does anybody know how to disable refresh in Power BI? Anyone? If you know how to disable refresh in Power BI in the Power Query, can you just say hi or just thumb up if you know how to do that? Can react, you can drop a chat, just say yes if you know how to disable refresh in Power BI. Just learning that now. Any other person? Any other person? No. Okay. 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 Maybe let's quickly go into the Power BI. I think I have my Power BI open here. So let me quickly show you. We are all learning, so I believe this section is not. It shouldn't just be theoretical. So let's do some demonstration as well. Let's do some demonstration. Okay, so when I said disable refresh. So for example, I believe we all understand the concept of fact table and dimension table. You guys have done training before, right? So now, most of the time, for a dimension table, it doesn't update all the time. A dimension table is always static. You understand? For example, maybe you have a table called product. You might not update this product table until, like, let's say after 6 months or after 3 months, because it's not like unless you are bringing in a new product, but most of the time, dimension table does not update frequently compared to your fact table that is always being updated, like, sometimes it can be weekly, it can be monthly, you understand? It's a frequent update. So the table that is not always frequently updated, right? When you have already loaded this table into your Power BI, you can disable refresh. If I click on this customer, maybe this particular product table now, I am 100% sure that, for the past 3 years I've been working in this company, this data has not, if you want to update it has to take up to like 6 months before we update it. If you click on your product table, you will see enable load, you will see include in report refresh. So, this table does not update every time. You can disable it. If you disable this refresh, you can see that the check box, the check icon here is no longer here again. If you disable it, it means that now let me try to load this table. Let's try to close and apply. When you try to close and apply, you will always see that there is something when you are trying to load your data. Oh, sorry, something happened. So you can see that something is happening. Only the product table here is refreshing, right? Because by the time I load this data, this particular product table now, nothing will happen to it again. For example, let's quickly go back. Let's quickly go back. Sorry. Okay, so let's say that I do some, I made some adjustments here. Let's just say I filter this. Let's just say I do some filtering with this table, and I come to my transaction table. I also do some filtering, just doing descending, just do something new on this table. Just do something new on those tables, right? Ascending. Then let's say this product table as well. This product table, I already disabled refresh, right? I already disabled the refresh in this table. Now, if I try to load this table back, this particular product table, it will not be included in my refresh. Why? Because I already disabled the refresh in it. And what was the impact of this? The impact of this is that it will make my my model, you can see that even if the product, you can see that is showing product here, but if the what's it called, if there is a new data inside this that is coming, it will not going to show here. It is still the same data that we have before that we are going to load it. And when it comes to loading, it will take more time. It will run faster compared to when you are when you enable refresh for all the data model. I don't know whether you guys understand what I'm trying to say. But because we have already disabled the refresh, you might not, you won't even see, you won't get the new updates in this table. So those are the ways in which we can actually improve our data model or optimize our data performance. So we also have the data modeling. So, one of the most important things about data modeling is that you should normalize your model, make sure your tables are organized very well. Don't use a complex, cardinality. You understand? Make sure that your cardinality are always one to many or many to one in a scenario where, in such scenario. So make sure that you have a very nice data modeling. Also, one of the best practice is also DAX. We have DAX best practice, right? So, we have calculated column, we have measures, right? So it is always a best practice that if you want to create a calculated column, you should create it in where? In Power Query, because that is closer to your data source. If you want to create a calculated column, it is always advisable that you create it in where? In Power Query. Don't say, oh, you want to come and flex your DAX knowledge. You can do some other things with your DAX. You understand? So you can do some other things with your DAX. But in a scenario where maybe you don't have access to Power Query, yes, we can make use of calculated query, because I have worked in an environment that sometimes I don't have access to Power Query. The only place that I have access to is the Power BI interface, right? Maybe it might be as a result of the data connection. Sometimes if you are using live, you are connecting live to a database or to a data source, you might not have access to Power Query. So in such a scenario where you don't have access to Power Query and you want to create a calculated column or something, you can make use of calculated column. So, we also have best practice that you should always use an explicit measure instead of implicit measure, because why? You can always reference explicit measures. You can always reference explicit measure, right? Okay, so those are just the little best practice. So we also have data optimization. It is always advisable that you create a dedicated measure table so that you are not confusing yourself whenever you are creating measures and all. Also, you should also minimize the use of iterator functions. You should also minimize the use of iterator functions. So let me ask, does anybody know what iterator function is? Does anybody know what are the iterator functions? If you have an idea of what an iterator function is, anyone? Do you know what an iterator function is? Iterator functions. Who can tell us what iterator? Sum x. Okay, yeah, like sum x, average x. Those are the average x. Yes. So those are iterator functions. So you have to make sure that you minimize the use of those functions, because sometimes those functions, you might be using them in a complex way, and it might make your whole work to make your data optimization to even take more time. You understand? So you have to be careful with the use of those functions as well. So like I said, make sure you create calculated column in Power Query, minimize the use of iterator functions, create a separate tables for your measures. Also, when it comes to visualization, I think I've seen some questions that people have dropped. Oh, how do we create visualization? How do we do this? How do we do that? So we'll talk about this one later. So the first thing about visualization is that you need to understand what type of data are you visualizing, right? You don't just start visualizing data because, you want to visualize. A lot of people just, once they learn data analysis, the next thing they start doing is just start creating charts and all. You have to calm down a little bit, understand what are the visuals. You need to know which of the charts should we use, you understand? So then when it comes to communication, what exactly is your visual communicating? Where you're supposed to use a bar chart, don't use a donut, a donut chart there. Where you're supposed to use a KPI card or a gauge, don't go and use a trend analysis chart there. You need to understand what exactly you want to analyze. That's communication. Then you need to understand your users. Who are your end users? A lot of people, when they are creating a report, they don't understand who their audience is. You are creating a report, a financial report, and your report is looking like more of storytelling. And your audience is what? Is the banking sector. You don't have to be putting too much stories in your report, because those are not, it's not telling the audience that you are actually targeting. For example, maybe you are looking for a job in the banking sector and you want to create a dashboard, or you are posting a report on your LinkedIn page. You already have a target audience. Your target is the banking, is the financial sector. Create a report that talk to your end users, financial report, sales, talk about balance sheet, talk about income statement, talk about NPR, talk about APR. Those are the reports you need to be creating to target your end user, so that when someone that is in the financial sectors look at your report, if, oh wow, so someone can build this report, maybe you are even the person that they needed. But don't just generalize. Everybody just generalize reports and create COVID-19, create. I'm not saying those are not good, but I'm just saying that know your end users, right? Targeting. It might be a logistic company you want to work with. Maybe you like them. Go and look at how understand the domain knowledge and start creating reports based on visualization based on that, and target the audience. Follow people in that industry. Follow their HR. I do that. Why I'm still looking for a job. You understand? So you have to be strategic in all those things. Make sure that you use the right visuals. Like I said, where you're supposed to use a bar chart, use a bar chart. Where you're supposed to use a donut chart, use a donut chart, and make your visualization simple. You don't have to make things so complex. A lot of people will pack different charts, pack different colors. Just you can make your work so simple. Make it clear. Use a layout, right? Anytime I'm looking or reviewing people's dashboard, the first thing I look at is the layout. If the layout does not make sense, I'll say, oh yeah, this layout, go and recreate your, readjust because your layout will make your work so neat, and it will make it so simple. And it will make even your audience to want to read more about your visuals. So I think that is all on the best practice. I know we don't really have much time, but please let's ensure that all these little things that I've said, in terms of, calculated column, use Power Query, in terms of creating measures, make sure you create a separate table for it. When you are using iterator function, understand what exactly the function is doing. You don't just use iterator function because you want to use them, right? So, when you are creating your models, understand your model very well, your visualization, understand the visuals, your end users, and all. So that was the little, best practice and, tips that I have for us before we dive into the Q&A section. I hope you all understand, you all understand those best practice, and you will make use of them later on. So, Gabriel. Yeah, okay. Yeah, you can. So I think we can start the section properly now. I think there are some questions that they have asked. All right. Okay, go on.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Learned a lot, and it's always nice to listen to you. All right. Thank you so much. So we have some questions here that people have asked initially, and when we were able to cover them, and then try to take some live questions. So if you have any question and you're unable to submit yours in advance, we probably just you can drop it on the chat box. And if you know you are confident enough to ask, you can just raise your hand. And when that time comes, I will just let you do that. So I will start from one I have here. Somebody, this has been like a major problem, right? So somebody is asking how to publish, how to create account on Power BI service so I can publish my project for visibility. I don't know. I think we should start from there. That's like a general problem for everybody. And is it what you want to let us just explain a little?
Okay, so when it comes to publishing reports, so let me explain something here. Power BI is not actually it's not totally free. So we might be looking at it from the perspective that you can download the application and do some stuff with it. Power BI is a product of Microsoft, and this company want to make money from their product, even though they make it look easier for us to learn for development sake. You understand? But on the long run, the company has to make money, and they know that when they a lot of most of us here, you will hear something about do 1 month free subscription. I mean, do 1 month free subscription. After the 1 month free subscription, what is next? You start paying money for it. So that's exactly what Microsoft is doing for us here. So they will give you a tips. Okay, yeah, learn this one first. So, but you will not know that there is still an advanced part of it that it will require you to pay money. So that's exactly what they are doing. So in terms of getting to publish your work, you have to have a work email. You must be working in an organization before you can publish your work. You understand? And some of us that we started learning this thing earlier, we have the opportunity. Some of us have opportunity that we have a developer account. At a point, Microsoft was giving developer account to people that you can use it to, when you are done with your work, you can use it to develop yourself, learn, the Power BI service and all. But later on, they discovered that people are, they are misusing the developer account for different purposes. Some people are selling the account, they are selling the license, they are making money from it. And, I think Microsoft later discovered that, this thing is not profitable for them. So they stopped that developer account. So they stop, people creating it. So for people that have had that developer account and they are still maintaining it till date, those are the people that are able to use the developer account. For example, me, I've been using my developer account for the past 3 years now, and the developer account as of today is still active for me. So I can do any development and publish my work, you understand, because I have the developer account. So let's assume that I don't have the developer account. How will I be able to also publish? Probably use my company account. You understand? But I cannot be using my company account to do demo for you here. It doesn't make sense. You get. So I know that there are some other ways that people have suggested in the past, but I'm not sure whether they work out. Some people will say it doesn't work out. The moment people are finding other alternative, Microsoft too will say that no, you people cannot go through this route. You understand? They will block those routes and make sure that people are paying money for those licenses before you can get them. Unless maybe you want to do you want to do like maybe practice. I think sometimes when you are preparing for exam, they can give you like a virtual machine or a demo environment where you can practice all these things. But at the moment, I cannot guarantee that there is one way in which you can publish unless you join some organization. I think like Novi Pro. You understand? If you join Novi Pro at a point, it was free. It was free at a point, but everything, see, I won't lie to you guys. If you really want to learn now, you will have to spend money. At a point, all these things are free. Novi Pro, I remember that time, Novi Pro was free. If you join Novi Pro, you register, they will give you their company account and you can use it to publish your work. But now, Novi Pro is not even free again. I think their least subscription now is $9 or $18. I cannot remember the last time I checked their platform. So most of these things are not free again. And that's one thing that I always tell people that, a lot of people then, they have the developer account, but a lot of people does not, they don't take the opportunity, they don't use it very well. So Microsoft will delete the account from them. So, but now the solution now is that unless you have friends, if you have a friends that have developer accounts that can borrow you, that can add you to their domain. So from there, you can publish your work. So some people have an account, some people have developer accounts, right? If you have like all these MCT, people that have Microsoft Certified Trainer, MVP, if you have them as friends, so some of them have this account, they can add you to their domain, you understand? They can add it to their domain and they will give you an account that you can use to publish. And if you are working in an organization as well, you can use your organization account to practice, but don't use your organization to publish work outside. It might be against your company. It might be against your company policy. Okay, I think someone make a suggestion. If you have an e-commerce website, I should say email as well, can you use it? So if you have an e-commerce website, so the e-commerce platform must have a license. So that's why I say that it is not totally free. So it must have a license. There's a license called Office E5, E3 license. I think E5 and E3 license. Yeah, you must have either of those license. So even if you are working in an organization, the organization too must have a license attached to that domain before you can make use of, before you can publish your work. Yeah, is that clear? So like I said, I don't really have a one-way solution for this develop or how you can get an account. So, but if there is some other ways around it that we find out, we will definitely share. I'm very, very sure that Gabriel will definitely share with you guys.
Thank you so much.
But if any other person or Gabriel, if you have ways in which this thing can be solved, you can also share it. It doesn't have to be a limit. Yeah, so you can also share with them as well.
All right, thank you. For now, I don't. Last time the last what's it called? The last YouTube I used from Mr. Ahmed is no longer working. Like you said, Microsoft look for those loopholes as well, and also try to cover those loopholes so they don't lose money. But then we'll keep searching for. There will be loopholes somewhere. We'll keep searching for and see if we can get some. Now, somebody asked the question, and I think you've talked about it. This person was asking if it's advisable to clean data thoroughly using Excel before importing to Power BI or clean using Power Query. I think I should just answer this. Yes. Like he said during the Microsoft, during the Power BI best practice, you need to clean your data close to the source. It makes it easier for you and it enhances performance. I don't know if it makes sense. Okay, so whoever asked the question, if you are here, I think that has been answered. Now, how can I create a website looking Power BI dashboard where it shows home, tabs, etc. As I click, it redirects me to the respective dashboard on my PowerPoint. Let me rephrase this question. I think is, if you can hear me, how can I create a website looking Power BI dashboard where it shows home, tab, etc. And as I click, it directs me to respective dashboards on my Power BI. I think this person is talking about bookmarks and navigation. You want to broaden on that?
Okay, so sorry, can you come again with the question? Because it's looking more of like a PowerPoint stuff. So can you come up with the question again? Just repeat the question again.
The person is saying, how can I create a website looking dashboard? Like the website, the dashboard is looking like have navigations like home tabs, home menu, etc. And as I click, it redirects me to the respective dashboard on my Power BI.
On Power BI or PowerPoint? Which one?
Or PowerPoint or PPT.
PowerPoint. Okay. It's fine. I think I understand the question. I understand the question. Let me share my screen. I think we can demonstrate that. So we can demonstrate that. So can you see my screen?
Yes, I can.
Okay. So like I said, so for you to be able to achieve that, you have to publish your work on the Power BI service. You can't do that within the desktop version. So you have to publish your work to the Power BI service. So I will use one of my project, one of the project that I've done in the past. So I will use it as an example. So let's use this ATM optimization to demonstrate that. Okay, so okay, so I have these reports. This is like an ATM optimization project that I've done in the past. So for example, now let's say that you want to embed these reports in a PowerPoint, right? You want to embed it in a PowerPoint. So just like what he said, maybe you have like an icon, like you have like a button or page navigation. I think these are what he's talking about. You can actually do all those. You can have all those things within your, like you said, like a web page, and it will look like an application, right? So you can actually have it. You can do that. That one is easier, is easy to do within Power BI, right? So once you have all this, right, you can do this. If I click on location, this will take me to the location page. It will show me the ATM location analysis. It will definitely show. And if you want to go back, I think there is an icon that I make here that can take is this one working? Okay, so let's click on the home. This one will take me back. And if you want to go to maybe maintenance, you click on maintenance, it will take you to maintenance, show you the ATM maintenance metric for year 2020. The data is not a real data, sorry, so that don't say that I'm showing you my company data. It's not a real data for disclaimer purpose. So it's not a real data. So yeah, it's not a real data. So it's a fiction data. So now the other question the person has is that yes, the first question is yes, you can have a web page navigation that can navigate to different pages of your report. You can have that. So the next thing is that, can you now embed this report in a PowerPoint? I will also say yes, it is possible. It is possible. So if I click on these exports, you will see analyze in Excel. So one thing I like about Microsoft is that Microsoft does not downgrade their products. What they do is that they integrate into it. Because they are creating Power BI does not mean that they will make Excel to be useless. What they will do is that they are going to integrate those applications together. And that is one of the reasons why I actually like them. So you can actually analyze, you can take this data into Excel and still analyze in Excel. Some stakeholders will tell you that, oh, please, can you take this data into Excel? I want to see it in Excel, and you can also still use Excel to do that. And you can also embed it in PowerPoint. Maybe you want to do presentation. So let's click on PowerPoint. So if you click on PowerPoint, you will see, choose how to export. How do you want to export this data? So I want to export it as a live data. I want the data to be interactive in PowerPoint. And I can also say that, oh, I don't want it to be interactive in PowerPoint. I only want to export it as an image. You understand? But let's say you want to export it as a live data. So let's say live data. Then I'm going to say open in PowerPoint. Can you see? Open in PowerPoint. So let's say open in PowerPoint. I'm going to show you two ways. Oh, okay, don't worry. Let's just use this one. I will show you some other. So you can see Microsoft Power BI is trying to open. So it's trying to open. Yeah, it's coming up. Yeah. So depending on your network, it might take time a little bit, but let's just be patient, and it will definitely. Okay, so you can see in your PowerPoint, can you see this PowerPoint now? This is your PowerPoint. So, and the data can also be interactive, right? If you want to make it interactive, I have a filter here where you can filter by, you can filter by year, if you can filter by here, and it will be interactive. You can see that the figures change. If you want to adjust this, you can adjust this. Maybe you want to you want to put some slide. You want to put some, you can adjust this one like this. If you want to put this one, maybe you want to put some walls, maybe maybe let's say this is your executive summary, and you want to you want to insert some, some words, right? You can just come to your text box here, start putting whatever you want to put. You want to put your narration. So you can actually embed, right? You can embed. So maybe you want to create another slide, right? So let me highlight everything here and remove everything. So let me remove everything here. So let's say you want to create another page that maybe you want to put just a single visual. So let's go back to, so I'm coming. So let's say that maybe I come to this customer details now, right? This customer details, and I only want to see this occupation by transaction, this chart alone. That's what I want, right? If it's only this chart that I want. So I will go back to my slide. So so I'll go back to my slide, to my PowerPoint. Where is the PowerPoint? So let me go back to the PowerPoint. So from the PowerPoint, I will go to insert. So under the insert, maybe if you are not seeing Power BI here in your insert button, you might have to do an add ins. I think there's an add ins that you can add Power, because me, I'm using the latest Office 365.
I think it also has to do with the package you are using.
Yeah, I'm using, like I said, I'm actually using the latest version because I have the developer account. So I'm using the developer account, I'm using the latest version of it. But in case in your phone, maybe you don't have it, so there's an add-in, so you can just go to YouTube, watch how to add in Power BI within your PowerPoint. So if I click on Power BI here now, so if I click on Power BI here, so let's say that I want to add a chart. So you can see that it's asking me, let your data do the talking, right? So now paste a URL from Power BI here. So if I go to my service, so I go back to my Power BI service, and I want this chart alone. I only want this chart alone. I don't want any other thing. I only want this chart. So I'm going to click on this icon here, and you see share. So I'm going to say link to this visual. So I'll copy the link. Then I will come to this, my PowerPoint, then I will paste it here. So I'm going to click on give people automatic access to this data. In case you want to give them access to be able to interact with it, you can give them access. Then I'm going to say insert. So it's loading. You can see that Power BI is very, it's very, very, you can see it's only this chart that we can see now. So if you want to maybe write something beside the chart, and you can see it is also interactive. You can see that it's interactive. If you hover it, it's showing you the number of occupation, trader, engineer. So when you are presenting to your stakeholder, it will be making sense that you are using a live data. You are interacting with it, you can hover it, they will even be more happy that, oh, wow, so this thing can, it can be more interactive like this. So yes, your answer is definitely yes. We can embed a live data from the Power BI servicing tool and PowerPoint. I hope I've answered your questions.
Okay.
So,
Okay. The same, I think somebody else, so just in line with that, somebody else asked about bookmarks and buttons. Okay. So maybe we just want to do bookmarks. Maybe you can just treat one as a one question, bookmarks, buttons, and navigations in Power BI desktop.
Okay, so actually to create buttons, bookmark, and navigations, well, that's like a topics, a separate topics that
Entirely,
is
but it
yeah,
is actually possible.
but we'll just we'll do some demo, right? So I will show you how
That
to
demo.
do it.
Okay.
Let's see. Yeah, we'll just be quick with it. So let me share my screen.
Okay, sir.
We will not really do too much. So I'll just quickly do a quick demo, and we won't really do it. But if you really want to learn bookmark, and yeah, we will have to dedicate another time to do that. Okay, so for navigation is quite easy. So let's say that I have this page. This is not the
Just
best report.
duplicate the
This,
page. I think
yeah,
just duplicate. We can just duplicate this report, like
yeah,
duplicate it, and then give it different names. I think that will serve for the navigation. That should serve for the page navigation.
yeah, definitely. So let's just call this one. So let's
You
call
don't need
this
fine.
one.
You don't need fine.
Yeah, definitely. So let's call this the executive. Let's just say this is the executive summary. This is the executive page, and let's say this is the customer page, customer report page. So I'll put this one here. So let's say maybe you want to navigate. Now, let me tell you something about bookmark and navigation. You will not really understand, you will not really see the functionality of those bookmark and navigation in Power BI desktop. It is when you get to the Power BI service, you will really see the functionality. Because within the Power BI desktop, this is your development area. You understand? You are the one developing it. The functionality of those bookmark and navigation, like I said, you might not really see them. So if you are doing it here, it might not be as if that you have done anything. But when you get to the Power BI, you can see that when I go to the Power BI service, it is easy for me to navigate, probably use come to this icon, click here, and it's showing that something has been done here. But if you are doing it in the development area, like I said, you might not really see that. But let's quickly say I have so let's say I have, let me click on insert and I go to shape and I say, or even for the page navigation, you can actually go to button. Under the button, you will see navigator. Can you see page navigator? So let's click on the page navigator. So you can see. So let's say that you want to put your page navigator button here. So that is for navigation, right? So you can see the navigation is what? Executive and customer. So let's say I'm going to remove this page two. So let me remove this page two. Yeah, delete. So now let's say I want to navigate between executive and customer, right? Or let me even say, let me say, okay. So let's say I want to navigate between executive and customer. If I click on customer now, it will take me to customer. Can you see that it has changed? Okay, let me do something that will make this place change so that we will see the
Just change
changes.
the color of the chart, so you don't
Okay,
have to
no,
distort it.
maybe I will just change the background color or something so that let's just change the background color. So let's say canvas background. Let's change the color to okay. So let me reduce the transparency. Okay. So we are not doing fancy things, so sorry. So so that's okay. So let's just remove. Let me remove this one. Okay. So now you can see this is the customer page. Now I'm going to put this navigation in this other place as well. So let me put it in the customer place as well. So you can see now. So this is executive, this is customer. So if I want to navigate, I did not do anything. Just go to your button, then go to navigator, then click on page navigator, and that is all. So once you had it, you are not doing anything. Power BI will understand what you are trying to do. So if I click on, so now for you to go to the page, you have to, because you are working in a development environment, you have to press Control and Enter. If you do not press Control, it will not navigate. So you can see, you have to press Control and Enter together. You understand? So that it will take you to the different pages. Control and Enter. So that is how page navigation works. You can see Control and Enter. But when you get to the Power BI service, you don't need to do the control. Once you click on the page, it will definitely take you there. So for bookmark, I will actually advise the organizer to have another separate section for
I think
bookmark because
I can
because
I can send a link from this guy. What's his name? There's this YouTuber. I'll try to see if I can get his link. I think, what is that his name? Hey, I forgot it. I'll search before the end of the section. Hopefully I get it. And maybe one of these days we can have a section for bookmark, page navigation, and every other thing that you want to do in.
yeah, that's fine. Because
I
if
hope
you,
that
I don't want you guys to be confused because page 9 bookmark has to do with a lot of things. You have to first do selection, bookmark, and if you are trying to rush, you might not understand what exactly you are doing. So, like I said, Gabriel can organize another session for those. Yeah. So I think that will be better. Yeah. So that we
Okay,
can move
thank
on.
you so much. So whoever asked that question, I think the person, yes, thank you. See, I think guy in Coop and some other person, I think the guy's name is also very funny. Is it I am BI or what's that his name? I think it's I am BI or something. You helped me
It's fine.
understand bookmark.
Maybe what I will also try. It's just because I'm lazy anyway. All these things I'm supposed to have created videos for them, put it on YouTube so that all these questions that people I will just take them to that, give them. It's just that I'm lazy. Before I used to do videos, but now I don't know. The time to create videos is not there for me now. But
Yeah, I
definitely.
think I've seen his new How to
Okay.
Power BI. Yeah, I think that's his name.
Okay. How to Power BI.
How
Okay.
to Power BI. So I'll just drop the link here and in the community letter. So if you're in the I'll drop it here and I'll drop it at the community immediately so I don't forget on the community immediately so I don't forget. That's about that. So I hope whoever asked that question will be able to try to do justice into that. Now this person also asked, who is this person? You asked jam question. This section is, I think it's just for you. So
Okay.
some of them I'll just try to just put a yes or no answer to them straight up. Will Copilot reduce or impact the job demand for Power BI and data analysts? Um, you want to answer that now or?
Okay. So like I said, Microsoft knows what they are doing. They are not going to, one thing about them is that they are not going to create a product to downgrade another product. Because Microsoft is creating Copilot does not really mean that they are trying to take the job of a Power BI. If you look at the data ecosystem, Power BI is even one of the most the product that is even driving business when it comes to people adopting the platform. Some people does not like some certain application but the reason why is because they just find Power BI easy to use. So Copilot is not going to take the job of a data analyst, just like, though you can create some report using auto creation, but when it comes to business, all these AI, they don't understand, business requirements.
Business problem.
You
There's no
understand? They don't understand business problem. Unless you manipulate it, the only thing they are just there for you is to assist
depending
you
on the prompt, even the prompt.
to make work easier for you. Yeah, they are not going to, yes, me too. At a point, I was a little bit skeptical about, I'm even thinking maybe I will transition from the whole data analysis to something else. But later I've been trying to understand, okay, these things are not there because I've seen a lot of requests, on real. See, you guys are doing, a lot of us here. Maybe you are not working yet. You are working on a fission data on cargo and all. You are doing practice. It is not exactly the way the real work is. In a real work environment, the end users, the stakeholders will give you what they are requesting for that. Your co-pilot will not be able to automate it. You'll be the one that will have to, to do it yourself, do it the way they want it. The stakeholder is saying that, oh, please, I want you to take a data from maybe SAP, ingest it into Power BI. Oh, I want to see the report in this way. After then, you create an alert for me. Copilot will not do all those things for you. They will only guide you. You understand? They will only make your work easier. And that is why, as a data analyst, you also need to go and learn the AI. Go and learn the Copilot. Copilot is a system is a system tool that they have created. So you have to go and learn it, learn how to use it. Then that is how you can now integrate it into your work. So Gabriel, I think you want to add something to that.
Yeah, I think. See, the truth is, even for some of you that would, some of us that will be doing practice question, try it one of the days and then carry your business problem. Just type the business problem in your Copilot or any of your AI tool. You will discover that at the end of the day, I think it was it Dicky that made this statement and he talked with me, right? Everybody can analyze data, including your AI, right? But not everybody can analyze data to solve problem. The goal of a data analyst is to be able to solve a business problem. See, the thinking process that goes through that. Of course, if you are able to prompt your AI machines, your ChatGPTs, your Copilot, there's a way you will prompt them that will make the work easy for you. And there's a way that will prompt them that they will lead you astray. So in essence, like I said, Microsoft would not give you a product that would now make the usage of another product reduce. What they are gunning for is revenue. What will increase their revenue? So they're not going to have Copilot and immediately people are beginning to dump Power BI. It doesn't work. So you have to be able to know how to optimize this to also help you grow, if that makes sense. Is it advisable to use VLOOKUP to join my tables or use the Power BI joins feature? I think which one would you advise?
Is it advisable to use what?
You know, there's a lookup function in DAX. Now, writing too much DAX will reduce performance. Hope you know that. But then let me allow him answer. Is it advisable to use VLOOKUP to join my tables or just use the Power BI joins feature?
Okay, so if I get what the person is trying to do now. So when you say VLOOKUP is to Excel, right? And Power BI function, I don't know the function you are talking about, but yes, I know that we have lookup function in Excel.
I think there's a lookup function. There's a lookup function in Power BI.
Yeah, there is. We have related functions. We have lookup function. But what I want to understand is this: most of the time,
is it
when people
is it the VLOOKUP? I think the person might be on the call. If you're on the call, just tell. You can chat me up privately if you want to remain anonymous. Is it VLOOKUP on Excel? Are you saying join your tables in Excel first before taking them to Power BI? Okay, the person meant VLOOKUP in Excel. That is part of the. I think you asked this question. That is part of the transformation. See, my goal to every day is that any transformation you can do outside of Power BI desktop, right? Maybe your Excel and your Power Query editor, please do it there. Of course, you also want to create relationship in especially for your model. But then let me allow you to answer that. I think the person is talking about VLOOKUP in Excel. So let me, because I'm beginning to talk too much.
So it's fine. It's fine. So I want to understand the person. If the person is on the call, maybe you can give us more clarity on your question. But this is what I would say. If you want to probably merge tables, you want to do data cleaning in Excel. You can, there's Power Query in Excel as well. A lot of people does not know that there's Power Query in Excel. What they just know is the Excel part. They don't know that there's Power. You can actually do data cleaning in Excel before you take your data into Power BI at all. So it will even reduce what Power BI is doing for you. You will have cleaned your data from Excel, take it to Power BI, right? So now, where the question is not clear is where you are trying to compare VLOOKUP in Excel and the lookup in Power BI. So I'm a little bit confused. Like I don't get that question very well. But whatever you are asking of is that you can use VLOOKUP in Excel. If you come to Power BI as well, you want to do lookup, anything related function, you can also do it there. So I think that I will just simplify it like that. But if the person can clarify the question for us, yeah, I think I will appreciate that. So we can move on.
Okay. So if the person is on the call, please just kind of okay, the person have the answer. Let me move to another question. I think we've asked a lot of questions. This person asked 6 good questions. I'll come back to the person's questions later. I think we've treated most. Then this person is asking about how to write DAX and a perfect data modeling. What tips would you give? Not just, I know there's a lot, I think there are more than 500 DAX functions, if I'm not mistaken. But what are the best? I think you spoke about it during the first section, talking about DAX best practices. You may want to also give little tips on how to write DAX and how to make your modeling more simple and more functional and efficient. I think that's what the person wants to know.
Okay, that's fine. So just to simplify that, we have 3 types of DAX. I hope we all understand. We know that we have 3 types of DAX. We have calculated table, calculated column, and we have measures, right? So how do you write DAX? right? Now, that is just to make, maybe your complex calculation to be more easier for you. And like I said, when you are creating a calculated column, it is always advisable you use Power Query. But maybe if you don't have access to Power Query, you can use use calculated column to do that. Now, for the only thing is just that for best practice, if it is possible for you to use measure, because the moment you are creating extra column in Power BI, is going to be expanding your data model, which I've already said before. The moment you start creating calculated column, calculated table, it will start expanding your data model. And the moment your data model expand, it will be taking much time to load your report or your visuals. You understand? So now, when it comes to how to write DAX, actually, I took some of our community on Power BI DAX this morning. So I really do not. You might have to, take a class on the DAX part itself. You understand how to write DAX, using calculated column, using calculated table, using measure. So there are some. So another thing that I would like to say is that, like Gabriel said earlier, we have about 500 functions, more than that, or right?
And those
And
guys
you
are
need
still
to,
building new ones.
yeah, they are still bringing new one. And the funny thing is that of all these 500, if you are once you start working, you might not even use up to 20% of all these 500. Yeah, you might not even use up to 20% of them.
What is
Because
20%? If you don't use
yeah,
your sum and your
your some calculate function, filters, logic function. That's the most, the other functions are just maybe when things get complex, when you want to, you start using, but it's not in all scenario. They are just making those functions to be more easier for us to do things within the Power BI. You understand? So you need to know which function, I think they are categorical function. Oh, you need to know when to use a particular function. If you want to create a table, in Power BI, which function will you use? Can anybody tell me, if let's say that I want to create a table within Power BI now? Can someone tell me two functions in Power BI that you can use to create a table? Anyone? Anybody? Anyone? Who can tell us functions to use to create tables within Power BI? Add column. Okay. Another function? Another function? Another function? Okay, so we have the summarize. We have summarize, we have group by function. So all these functions like add columns, calculate table. So we have functions, different, they are categorical functions. So you need to know what a function is doing. You need to know what a function is doing. They are logical function, they are time intelligence function, they are related function, lookup function. So you need to know what a function is doing. You understand? Once you understand what a function is doing, then to use them will be much easier for you. You understand? So, but we will not really be talking about or showing you practical section on how to write DAX. I'm sure Gabriel. So what I would advise is that you see some of these questions, maybe look at
we
think
actually have
questions.
we actually
Okay.
have one of last, I think our first major stuff was just a straight up introduction to Power BI. I think the other one we did was on modeling, and then we decided to do Ask Me Anything section. Of course, we also have plans to have a DAX,
DAX class, exactly.
just purely for DAX and breaking it down into smaller steps.
Exactly.
But while we are doing that, I also share a material with us from the Microsoft Learn documentation. DAX, you can see there are a lot of DAX. I don't know, I'll probably put it on the group now and then share it also on the group. So that should do. I hope that has answered your question, whoever created that question, asked that question. Okay, we have a few more questions.
So if you really want to learn that, see, one thing is just that you cannot learn all the functions. Just know that the one thing you should know is the principle of DAX. Once you understand the principle of DAX, know how to create a calculated column, how to create a table, and how to create measure. Once you understand those things, the rest, whenever you need them, you can always. Sometimes I don't know some function, I will just use ChatGPT. Please, I want to do this and do that.
You don't talk everything, I beg.
It will brought it out. So you don't need to stress yourself too much. Yeah. Yeah. Okay, so let's go on. Let's move on with the next question.
Okay, let's go on with the other questions. How to get different dashboard design ideas and inspiration. I normally see different dashboard designed by people, and I can't stop wondering where and how they come about such designs.
Okay, I
How
think
to get dashboard designs
okay, that's
inspiration.
a nice question. That's a nice question. It's very simple. See, I tell people that there is nothing new under the sun. You are not the first person to do it. People have been doing it before. And see, a lot of people, you might say, oh wow, how does this person come up with this creative? A lot of people, it's not like you are creative like that. People like us, it's not like you are really creative. You just go and do for templates. There's templates everywhere now. So you are the one stressing yourself. Some people will say they don't know how to mix color, they don't know how to do design. These things are not hard. Just go to there are a lot of websites, Google. But for me personally, I have two major platforms that I use. So the first platform I use is Pinterest. So let me show you. So
Pinterest don't suffer.
so let's go to Pinterest. So I use Pinterest to let me see. I think I have a platform. Let me see if I have the Pinterest. Okay, I don't have it. Okay, so let's just go to Pinterest. So one of the platforms that I first go is Pinterest. Anytime, any day, I want to create a dashboard, and maybe it's a new dashboard. I don't have any. You can see even before I even start typing anything, dashboard has started coming up. I have not even typed anything. You can see dashboard has started. Dashboard is already coming up already. So it's not like there is nothing new, especially if you see someone. Anytime I go to YouTube or I go to LinkedIn and I saw someone creating a nice design, I will just okay. I know if I go to Pinterest, I will see template that I want. You understand? So there's nothing. So if I just type, say, let's say sales dashboard or any kind of dashboard that you want to create. So let's just say sales dashboard. So if you type sales dashboard, you see a lot. There are a lot of it there. You don't need to stress yourself. Even color, you can use there is a color picker. Maybe you like the way you want the design of that dashboard. So let me show you guys. So let's say this particular report, I want to recreate it. And so let's say I like this dashboard. I like the color code. I like everything about it. It's easy for me to recreate. Even if I want to pick the color, right? Let me show you, there is a tools that I use to pick color. If I want the color to be the way, I want to pick the right color. So there's a color picker application called Power Toy. So once you download the app from Microsoft Store, you can make use of it to pick a color. So let's see how the application works. So color picker, I will just press Windows Shift C. So you can see color picker. So if I go back to this website now, let me go back to this website. So if I want to, maybe I want to get the color code of this thing. I want to get the color code. So what I just need to do is Shift C. So you can see the color code. Can you see? It's showing me the color code. So you can replicate everything the way it is. You can see the color code. Just copy the code, go to Power BI, and you will be able to exactly the way you see it here, exactly the way you prepare your dashboard. So it's not, there's nothing, no magic there. Don't let anybody bobo you or design. You understand? The design is even the least thing that I care about when I want to do reports. When I want to create dashboard, the design is the least thing I ever thought of, because I know that there is a template somewhere that I'm going to use. Well, the most important thing is let my data be accurate. Once the data is accurate and I understand the data very well, I understand the domain, I understand how the model was, the design is the least thing that I ever thought of. You understand? A lot of people moving to data engineering today, they will tell you that what they don't like is the design, that they don't like color combination, they don't like design, and I think that these things are not that easy. They are not hard now. You understand? So yeah, and pretty much is not hard as well. So you can see templates, right? There are a lot of templates outside there that you want to, you might want to use. If I search for, so let's say that I even search for, let's say HR. Let's say that I want to search for HR dashboard. So it's not only sales, right? If you type HR dashboard, you will see something similar that is HR. I use this dashboard, this particular dashboard. I use it for one of the challenge I did like 2 years ago, and I won the I think I was second runner up for that particular challenge. On it's one of the challenge that I used to do challenge before anyway. So I just come to this template and I use the template, and I was even surprised when I saw I was first runner up rather, and I use the same template, and I think I still have the dashboard on my Power BI. I can show you later on. So that's that. Inspiration, you can go to Novi Pro as well. So another platform that I use is Novi Pro. I use Novi Pro as well. Like I said before, I have Novi Pro. I was part of I used to publish my work there before. But the moment they start charging, I don't have money. So I stopped using it. So I stopped using it. I have some of my work there before, but I don't have money now. So maybe when I make money, I will not care about the charges. So I think they charge about $8 or $9 per month. So you have to subscribe to their channels. And if you subscribe, for those of you that are having issues with account, you guys will get a free account to publish your. So you can also come to Novi Pro. So if you come to Novi Pro, they have a lot of inspiration dashboard. They have a lot, because the people that do dashboard there, they are genius. I've done some challenges before too. Some of all these things now. You can come here, if you like design and all, you can come here, you will see a lot of designs, mad design. Just go to novipro.com and you will see all these dashboard. You see all these, some of the, if I open my accounts, I have some dashboard that I've created in the past as well. Just that I've been quite lazy. So you can see a lot of design. You can see 105 like. You can see if you yourself, you even see people that have liked a particular dashboard. And this person, if you are very, very familiar with LinkedIn, Frederick Pastor is one of the most popular, Power BI person on LinkedIn. And you can see a lot of his work here as well. So you can see these are what are professionals, people in the industries, they have done. You can come back here and come and pick any of their templates. And, if you like the templates, why not use it? Nobody's going to,
Don't go and screenshot somebody's project and say you're the one that did it.
That's just it. Make sure. So you can use that template, but anyway, there's no way. Anyway, okay, you can don't just screenshot it. Anyway, that's just it. So the content,
bros, they don't do my bad to pass by with person dashboard before.
Yeah, I know. Okay, I know definitely. So I think this is $7.5 dollars. I think it's about $8 per month. Yeah, so you can see. So you have to, before it was free. I don't know. See, a lot of people, that was one thing that a lot of people does not understand, that organizing something like this for free. Now, if you see a platform like this that is doing it for free, please appreciate them. Join, because all these things now, they are cost. And I was telling people that, see, to learn things later in future, it's only God that will help us. You understand? They are very cost now. Yeah. So if you have it free, please try and let's take opportunity for it. It's not easy to come on a call, train people and all. But like I said, this thing was free at a point in time, but now they charge about $7.5 per month. So before you can subscribe to their channel. Okay, so can we move on?
If let's say we go start the chat for our meetings now. All right, maybe to add, right? If you check the chat, I added to of course somebody has added color school. I think the color is spelled double O, I'm not sure it's single O. There's colors code. There is for those of us that are color deficient like myself, there is color there's color hunt. Now there is AI.color. This one I just found it out and it's sweet. Like I love it. And there's color.adobe.com. If you don't have color picker and you don't want to be picking color one after the other, save and you can upload an image on color.adobe or .com/create image. If you upload a file, which is a picture, it will give you the color palette for the entire picture, for the entire color that was used on that picture. And it will give you in different modes. I think they have like 4 or 5 modes. You can see the dark mode, the light mode, the colorful mode. They are just like that, if that helps. So you can add that to your um padlog. Now, I think we have 2 more questions from here, and then we'll go to live questions. I hope we do that very quickly. This person is asking again, in what case are pivot tables preferred over Power BI? Again, similar questions. I think we've touched this before, but then, in organizations where Power BI is used, what is the need for Excel data manipulation? You get mine though. Who asked this question? Okay, sir. Did you hear what I said?
Okay, so sorry, come again with the first question. I think there's a question around pivot table and Power BI, right?
Yes. In what case are pivot tables preferred to Power BI? That's and the continuation is now, what is the need of Excel for data manipulation when there is Power BI?
Okay. So now let me clarify something. Let me clarify something. Power BI is not built for data transformation. Power BI is built for dashboard and reporting. That is exactly what Power BI is meant for. You are not meant to be doing transformation in Power BI. Power BI does not have a strong capacity to do data transformation. Fine, even though Power BI, Microsoft have put Power Query inside Power BI, but when it comes to heavy transformation, that's why you cannot, it's not encouraged to use Power BI. So why do we have platform like why do we have database? Why do we have data lake? Why do we have Snowflake? Why do we have BigQuery? Why do we have data warehousing, Synapse Analytics? Right? Have you not come across, okay, why those platforms? So Power BI is not meant for data transformation. Don't let us get it wrong. The fact that Power Query is inside it is just for small transformation. They don't want it to be like, okay, you cannot even do some transformation within the application. But the main purpose of Power BI is data visualization and reporting. That is the purpose of it. It's not so, because you can, you say that, oh, why am I doing transformation in Excel? Why not do it in Power BI when Power BI is there? Fine. I'm not saying that you cannot do it in Power BI, but it is not advisable. It's not a best practice. Do your transformation in your data source, from your data source, right? Then maybe the only thing that you should even be doing in Power BI is just changing your data format, change this, change that. You're not supposed to be doing complex, or maybe you merge tables together. You're not supposed to be doing, even merging tables. It depends on the organization that you're working with. If you're working in a big organization, all those things, you will barely do them. If you're working in an organization like a banking sector, do you want to tell me that you want to be merging 10 tables together in Power BI? You will be tired. You understand? You'll be so tired. All those things is being done. Exactly. All those things are being done in the big data analytics workspace, like Databricks, like Azure and all. So the only thing they do Power BI is what? Connect to Power BI and create a report. That's the only thing. Where I work on a project for almost like 6 months that I don't have access to Power Query. The only thing that I'm doing is just create dashboard. And that's the only thing that I even have access to. You understand? So because you are learning, and I understand that. But when you work with people that have experience, you have to see things differently, in different perspectives. You understand? It is beyond taking data from cargo. Actually, seriously, I won't lie to you guys. When I was learning, when I started as well, I thought it's just, oh, let me just do this thing. It's very easy. But when you start learning, you start understanding some other concept that, oh, why is this thing like that? So in essence, the reason why Power BI comes in place is because of inefficiency of Excel. Excel is not easy for creating dashboard. It is very, very difficult to create dashboards in Excel. And that's why Microsoft thought of it. Okay, why can't we create a business intelligence tools that can help organization in reporting? And that's why they created Power BI. You understand? The inefficiencies of Excel is even what brought a database, because, in company like financial sector, they cannot be creating multiple sheets. You understand? They cannot be creating multiple sheets. That's why they create a database that, okay, why can't we have all our data in a single single database? Why are we creating multiple sheets? It is as inefficient of those. Even database also have its own inefficiency, and that is what brought us what? We start talking about using Apache Spark, using, when you're working with big data, you cannot use SQL alone to just do that. That's why you have to be using, all those Apache Spark, PySpark and all. So you need to know that there is advance to all these things. So as you are going up, you need to also be stepping up as well. You need to be stepping up. A lot of people just, they stay where they are. You don't have to stay where you are. There are steps to this thing. Nobody is going to teach you all this thing. I won't lie to you. Unless when you start working in an organization, nobody is going to teach you. Nobody is going to tell you that, the reason why, you have to step up, you have to go to this platform, you have to use this platform. Nobody is going to teach you that. So you have to step up your game, right?
You are doing that now already, sir. Thank you.
All right, that's fine. Okay, so I think the person asking, so for pivot table, now pivot table is mostly preferred in some cases, especially in the banking sector. You see, bank, they like pivot table a lot. But when it comes to dashboard, they want to see charts, they want to do trend analysis. They prefer to use Power BI for that. But when it comes to table, they want to be seeing, in banking sector, they want to be seeing, their data in rows and column. And that is where pivot table, have more power compared to Power BI. Because in Power BI, to create all those things in Power BI is a little bit, you have to be doing some DAX, writing some, tweaking your matrix table somehow, which is not easy like that. So that's why a lot of people will tell you that, oh, please export this data for me in Excel, and they use pivot table to do it. But it is not enough scenario. Some people will just prefer to see a dashboard, a chart. Oh, let me see, okay, what is the comparison between this year and this year? Oh, they can easily see it. Which Power BI, Excel might not be efficient to do that. You can do it in Excel. A lot of people, so I know a girl that if she creates a dashboard for you in Excel, you would think that she did it in Power BI. So, but like I said, it is not flexible in Excel. So that's why you need to know when and why you have to choose a particular tools. But at the end of the day, the goal is to make decision and to be able to take strategy, to impact your organization, whichever tools you choose. It doesn't matter whether you use Power BI or use Excel. Most important thing is that you are making impact in your organization.
All right, thank you so much, sir. I have one last question, but then before we ask that last question, does anyone have any question from our live audience? Let's not feel like we are just left them out. Do you have any question?
I think some questions have been dropped. One hand is up.
Okay. Someone's hand is up. I think that would be Emmanuel. Okay, please, you might want to go. Emmanuel, can you hear me?
Good afternoon. Can everyone hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Yes, we can.
Okay, thank you very much. Sorry for joining really late. I had a class from 3 to 5. So as the class ended, I quickly came here. So I actually sent in my question and they've probably talked about it, but because I'm late, I was not it. So I was just asking about I'm the person who asked about
no.
Power BI curriculum.
I've not asked your question. That was the last question I intend to ask. So if it's the same thing you want to ask, I just check the name now. I think there's a column for name, and I'm just checking your name now, and I can see that. And that was the question I left out for the letter, so that I'll give our live audience opportunity to ask questions. So if you send in your question, don't worry. There's just one question that we are left with.
Okay,
so I'll ask the question later. Tori. Who is Tori? Please pronounce your name if I'm mistaken. Just take the mic and pronounce your name. Tori something. Okay, so hello. If you can hear me, I want you to speak. I want to hear your voice. That's what I'm saying. Or you are shy to take the mic. Hello, Tori. What's the full name? Okay, your audio is acting up. Okay, but please, are you on the Tori Shea? Are you on the what's it called? On the group, on the WhatsApp group chat, like the community group chat? I need it. Okay, not yet. I need you to send me a DM. It's like you'll be our first volunteer. It seems like this meeting is just for you. You have a lot of questions to ask, and you're still asking them after sending like 6 or 7 to me previously. But then you ask the question. Thank you for sending in your questions. Thank you. Now there is another question on: can you share key tips for the Power BI job related interviews? Okay, that's one. 2, also, can you clarify the difference between front end and back end Power BI developer and data engineering? You want to take that up, sir? There are 2 questions on the chat box. You just want to check them and
okay. It's fine. Yeah. Okay. So let's start with the last one, which is let me see. Let me go through the question again. Okay, so let's talk about the last question says, can you clarify the difference between the following role, front end and back end BI developer and data engineering? Okay, so yeah, so it depends on the organization you are working with. It depends on the organization you are working with. So for Power BI, some people have front end and some people have back end. Yes, I have worked in an organization, even my current organization, we have front-end developer and we have back-end developer. So when we talk about front-end developer, what it does is mostly report creation. They are the one creating dashboard, publishing the dashboard to the Power BI service, sharing the report with the stakeholders, and all those things. But when you talk about the back-end, what the back-end does is that they are the one taking the data from the database, right? They are the one taking the data from the database. They are the one creating like a data max. They create like a measure. They are the one creating measures. So you that you're a front-end person, you might not even create measure at all. That's the funniest thing. Anything you need, your measure you need, you will talk to the backend, to your BI backend, that please create this measure for me.
Flex.
You tell your that's the thing. That's how it was. You tell your backend that please, I want this measure. Please create it for me. You will not okay. You want this measure. The backend will not create it for you. You are not the one creating the measure. Even you will not have access to even to create measure. You cannot do it. Calculated column. If you want a new column, you talk to your backend that please, I want a new column. Please create it for me. And how does this work? Is that the way the data is connected, we have something called live connection. If you are using live connection, this is where you will understand this role better. But if you are not using live connection, you will not understand the role. You will think that you are the one doing everything. But if you are connected through live connection, you will not even have access to it. So there's no way. You have to talk to your backend to do it for you. Creating measures, anything that has to do with anything, you have to tell him, which is me, I find it difficult to do those kind of work, because when I can do something myself, why would I be telling the backend person to be doing? And sometimes talking to backend, you'll be like, why are you stressing me? You understand? But it's going to be looking frustrating. You understand? When you are supposed to do things and you have to first talk to the backend. So what you can do in that scenario is that you can talk to your backend, tell him to give you access to the backend. If your backend is someone that you can relate with, please give me access to this thing. Let me do it myself. You understand? But in some scenario, the role are being differentiated. Your own job is just to create visualization, then publish it to the Power BI service, then share with your stakeholders. That is your role. Now, data engineer, when it comes to making data available, it is the work of data engineer. Right? If you are working in an organization, a big organization, when you talk about data source are very, very wide. Some data are in SAP, some data in Primavera, SharePoint, data on different platforms, Excel, CSV. Now you now want to make a you want to connect to all these data sources. See, this thing is not easy. Hey, connecting to SAP is not easy. Connecting to Primavera, to SharePoint, they are not easy. They are not being so. You might be saying that, oh, you can easily connect it with Power BI now. Why is it so difficult to do? When it comes to organization, because they have architecture, there is a laid down architecture how their workflow is supposed to go. You can't just say, oh, let's connect to Power BI. No. They will have an architecture that they have to go into. So that's where data engineer comes in. Data engineer, they connect from the data source. They can use different orchestration, use different data injection, like, in Azure, which I'm familiar with. They can use Azure Data Factory to ingest their data, then load the data into the data lake. Then from the data lake, they take the data into, they have something called the medallion architecture, right? So using the medallion architecture, they create their the bronze zone, the silver zone, and the golden zone. The golden zone is what the Power BI guys connect to. If you're a data analyst, the zone that you connect to is the gold layer in the medallion architecture, if the organization adopts that architecture. But if the organization does not adopt the architecture, whatever their data source is, you connect to that data source. So data engineer, what they do is that they are the one making the data available for you to use. Now you will say that, but I can get the data from Cargo now. I can get the data. That's not how it works in an organization. No. If you are working in a real organization, it doesn't work like that. Your data engineer will be the one that will get the data for you, structure it, make it available, then you start. There are more to it. So I believe there will be some other seminars and all regarding, all these things later. So have I answered that question? I think there's another question that you mentioned.
Yes, I think there's just one more question, and that's automation in Power BI.
Okay, can you touch on automation in Power BI? So when it comes to automation, so you can automate your work in Power BI. You can automate your work. So how do you automate your work? So there is so there's something called, so if you are working, it depends on the environment you are working with. If you are working on-prem or you are working on the cloud. So if your data source is on-prem means that you are using your CSV on your laptop. So if you want to automate your work, maybe you always update that CSV every week. For example, me now, I used to have a CSV file that I always update my tasks, the tasks that I want to do. I always update it. You understand? I always update it. So let's assume that I want to be seeing the latest data. Maybe I have created an application that, okay, I want to be seeing my latest reports. Now I want to automate this dashboard. So what I will do is I'm going to download an application called what? Power BI Gateway. So the Power BI Gateway is what I'm going to use to link my on-prem to my cloud service so that I can automate my reports, so that I can be seeing what the latest data from my data source. So when you connect your data gateway, it will make your automation so you can, on the Power BI service, right? On the Power BI service, let me quickly see if I can show you. On the Power BI service, we have you can schedule your refresh. So for example, now maybe this particular report now, I want to automate it. Maybe there's a new data that is coming in and I want to automate it. If you come to your semantic model here and you go to, I hope you can see my screen. If you come to your semantic model here and you go to, is this settings or, so you go to your settings. So you go to your settings, you can, so go to your settings, you see gateway and cloud. So now you see data source credential. So I think my data source, it has been disconnected. So I have to reconnect my data source. So you can see it has been disconnected. So I have to reconnect it. So once I reconnect it, because the data is coming from the on-prem. Once I reconnect it, the next thing I need to do is to refresh. You can see refresh. So I can schedule my refresh. So you can schedule your refresh based on maybe hourly, or you want to schedule your refresh based on monthly or weekly. The moment you schedule your refresh, right, you know that is automation. You have automated your work. But if the data source is coming from maybe your OneDrive, you don't even need gateway. You don't need gateway at all. So what you just need to come and do is to come and click on refresh. I'm not sure if I have any data or any project here that that I have the data source from. Okay, I think I have one. Is it okay? Let me check this my LinkedIn. This is my LinkedIn dashboard. So if I click on settings, so I think my LinkedIn dashboard. Hey, this is my LinkedIn dashboard. Yeah. So you see this refresh that it is highlighted. I can set. You can see West African. So if there is a new data, you can see that I always want to be seeing my refresh every Thursday. This is automation, right? If I decide that, okay, every Thursday, I want this report to be, you know, to be updated, to automatic updated, right? Every Thursday, I will be seeing the latest data. So when there's a new data in my data, if I go back to my report, so if I go back to my report, where is it? Projects. So if I go back to my report, to my LinkedIn dashboard, I will see the latest data in this dashboard because I have automated, and the data source is on cloud. I don't need gateway in this one. The data source is what is on the cloud. So I don't need data gateway. So if probably this one I've done it like maybe 2 years ago. So that's I was just trying to see how my connection impression lies. I think by that I think I have like about 6,000 plus, you know, connection that time. So you can say that it's like been like 2 years. It's like 2 years ago that I've done it. So it's not updated. I've not updated the data. If I updated the data now, maybe if I come back here tomorrow, because okay, by Thursday next week, because I schedule it to be updating by every Thursday. So you will see the latest data here and it's automated. So that is how automation works in Power BI. I hope that is clear. So it depends on your data source, whether it is cloud or it's coming from your local data source.
Okay. So we'll take one question. I think there are more questions on the group, but let's take one of the final question on the ones that have been sent in advance. So this last question is, please, where can I learn Power BI in a structured manner, or is there a good curriculum I can follow from beginner to advanced? Now, before, it's not good. Sorry, please hold on.
All right.
The last question, please, where can I learn Power BI in a structured manner, or is there a good curriculum I can follow? First and foremost, disclaimer, we are not advertising for anybody. We'll just try to answer best as we can, okay? So, sir, you can go on.
Okay, so the person that has this question, is the person on the call? Is the person on the call?
Yes.
This last question.
I think the person on the call.
Yes,
Yes, the person on the call.
Okay, so Emmanuel, right?
yes.
Okay, are you currently doing any data or Power BI course at the moment?
I wanted to start, and then what I've been doing is I just go to YouTube, but I've realized that because I've learned Excel, I've learned SQL, I realized that I do better when I learn in a structured manner. So I wanted to learn from YouTube, but it's kind of scattered in YouTube and I get like confused. So I was just thinking, okay, how can I learn it in a structured like manner from like beginner to intermediate to advanced like that?
Okay, so I'm going to give you a gift. I will only you are the only one I'm giving. Right. So I'm going to give you a gift. So I'm going to give you access to my Udemy course. So I have a Maven's analytics course there that is beginner friendly, right? It's beginner friendly. So
Wait, sir.
after the
Wait, sir.
Hold on now, hold on, Gabriel.
Hold on
So-
first. Wait. So, Emmanuel, are you
Yes, sir.
in our community group chat?
Yes, I am. That's the one on WhatsApp. Yes.
Yes, the Abuja Power BI user group.
Yes. I joined
You
recently.
sure?
I just found out about it. Yes, I am.
If you know they give you giveaway. That's on a lighter note. Please continue, sir.
I would have joined like sooner, but I didn't even know there was like an Abuja. So I learned recently that there was a group. I was like, wow, I didn't know about this, and I joined immediately. I think that was either last week or 2 weeks ago.
Okay.
Yeah. Yes.
So you can continue, sir.
Okay, so yeah, so what I would do for Emmanuel is that I will, since he said he has not, assuming he said he's doing a course at the moment, I won't give him the course. So just reach out to me after the call via WhatsApp. You can get my contact
Very
from
much.
Gabriel. So I will give you the access to the Udemy course. I'm only giving you 3 weeks to complete it. So after
That's not
3
that.
weeks, what do you say?
Yeah.
So after
Okay, I
3
was like,
weeks, go on.
yes.
What do you say?
Okay, no, I was saying like that's not a problem. 3 weeks is
All
very
right,
fine.
so I'll
Thank
give
you
you
very
3 weeks. After you are done with the 3 weeks, you can share your whatever you have done with the community at the end of the day. So I'll only give you 3 weeks. After 3 weeks, if you have not completed it, you will not have access to it again. Is that a
Okay,
deal?
thank you.
All right,
Yes,
that's fine. So
I
after the call,
Alright.
you can just reach out to me. Then I will give you the credentials. You log in and you can start your journey.
Alright,
I believe
so,
in 3 weeks time you should be good.
thank
All
you
right.
so much, sir. I think
Thank you
at
so much.
this point, I know that there are other questions on the group chat, on the chat that like how did you get your LinkedIn data, and this person is specific about how you can share tips on Power BI job related interview. So okay, what we'll do is, because our speaker has been on this course since 4 o'clock, and I know he's a very, very busy person. So what we'll do is, if you're on the community group, please just drop it at his leisure time. He would he's also on the group. So at his leisure time, he would answer. He will try his best to answer them, if that's okay with us, because we want to allow him to go. I know how busy he can be. I've been on his neck since like yesterday or the day before today, so I know how busy he can be. So you can just drop them on the group chat or send the DM on our what's it called, on our LinkedIn or our Twitter page, and they will forward the questions to him, or we'll copy it from here and send to him. And if you send us a DM in any of those channels, we can just send the response there to you, because this is scheduled for 2 hours and we are just 9 minutes to the time. Okay, so yes, we also have a community on Microsoft Fabric. You may also want to join the Microsoft Fabric community. Inside the Microsoft Fabric community, we also have like a link to our WhatsApp group chat. Please also join our Microsoft Fabric community, join our LinkedIn for other people to have opportunity to sections like this. Also join our Twitter, follow us on Twitter, follow us on LinkedIn, and engage our post. And also you can join our Microsoft Fabric community. And in our Microsoft Fabric community, I think there's a link to our WhatsApp group chat there. Okay, so thank you so much, Mr. Folorunsho. Thank you so much. I'll allow you go now and then make other necessary announcements at the time permit. Yes, Fatima, your hand is up. Is it Fatima or
Sorry,
Fatma?
I raised it accidentally.
You said it was accidental. Okay. All right. Thank you so much. So now back to us as a community. Now we have tried to release our speaker, and you can drop your hand already if